Well, here I am. So, let's rewind. In the first part of this video, we talked then about sentence types, about the simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentence, and compound complex sentence. Now we're going to focus on the simple sentence, and particularly on the basic sentence patterns. In order to deal with this topic, we have to pay special attention to the verbs, which are the key elements within the predicate of a simple sentence. We know within a simple sentence, we will always have a subject and a predicate. And as I said before, the key element within the predicate is the verb. We have already read about the classification of verbs according to their complementation in the second chapter from the grammar book. So let's see then the basic patterns. If you have a sentence which includes an intransitive verb, you will have the subject, and within the predicate, you may have just the verb, because an intransitive verb requires no objects or complements. Of course, you may have an adverbial, which is an optional element, and that's why it is included between brackets. You will see that in all cases, there is a possibility of adding an optional adverbial. The example I wrote here is, she left yesterday, okay? I might have said she left, okay? So the verb to leave, in this particular example, it is used intransitively. Then another kind of verb is the linking verb or copula verb, which requires an obligatory complement, okay? When we talk about complements, we are talking about obligatory elements within sentence structure. The first example reads, they are hungry. We have a subject, a verb, a linking verb, and a subjective complement. Let me write it down, because sometimes I'm talking and it's not clear, all right? Subjective complement, an obligatory element that is directly related to the subject, okay? In this case, they are hungry, okay? There is another possibility. You have another example. Bob is in Rome. And in this case, you have, again, a subject, a linking verb. But this time you have an adverbial complement. That is, it is also an obligatory element, but you probably see that Bob and in Rome are not so closely related. Adverbial complements refer basically to location in time or place. All right, let's move on. Now we move to transitive verbs. But within transitive verbs, we find three sub-classes, okay? Monotransitive verbs, detransitive, and complex transitive verbs. Monotransitive, okay, check your morphology, it means one object. Transitive verbs, monotransitive, sorry, require one object. Susan hates tea. We have a subject, a transitive verb, and a direct object. In this case, there is no optional adverbial. In the case of detransitive verbs, he sent me flowers last week. You have the subject, you have the verb, and then an indirect object, typically a beneficiary of the action in terms of semantics, and flowers, which is the direct object. In this case, you have the adverbial. He sent me flowers last week. There is sometimes the possibility of changing word order here and saying he sent flowers to me last week. And the last type we're going to discuss is the complex transitive verb. He makes me happy. He is the subject, makes as a transitive verb, me is the direct object, and happy is the objective complement. Objective complement. That is an obligatory element which refers to the object. He makes me happy means I am happy, me happy. He makes I am happy. Okay? Can you see the relationship between these two elements? Well, sometimes these may be problematic for students because you see like 2 units after the verb. But when you look at the kind of relationships established, you'll see that they are really different. Let's move to the blackboard, and I want to use the verb make to see how this works. Because in fact, a verb sometimes may be used transitively, intransitively. If you think of the verb eat, you can eat a sandwich, and there the verb is monotransitive. Or you could say, I eat in the morning, okay? And then eat is used intransitively. Let's have a look at these examples. A cake for his birthday, okay? And then she made him a proud dad. All right, she made a cake yesterday. What do you think? What kind of a verb is make here? Monotransitive, because you have just a direct object. In the second example, she made him a cake for his birthday, we have a ditransitive pattern. An indirect object, then a direct object. And afterwards an adverbial, an optional adverbial. And look at the last example. It may look a little bit like the previous one, but it is not. This is an example of a complex transitive pattern, where you have the verb, a direct object, and the objective complement. He is a proud dad. Okay? This is not he is a cake, for sure. There are some other possibilities which we're going to discuss during the course. But for the time being, I think this is good as an introduction. The idea now, as I told you before in the evaluation video, is to upload an activity for you to do using the tool called Tareas, which enables you to upload a file, okay, with your answers, so that I can correct the file and send it back to you. So particularly the aim of the activity is to check whether you understood, but at the same time to see how we use, okay, how we manage with this tool called Tarea. Of course, if you have doubts, get in touch. Okay? Well, thank you.